He said the police officer thug, who had a very checkered past to begin with.
If she lived, she would have been charged. She would have been charged with a crime. She would have been a criminal.
It doesn't make any difference what's on the books because nobody is taking the book seriously anyway.
We've got a CNN panel to hop into featuring one of the Capitol police officers discussing Donald Trump and Ashley Babbitt's family now receiving $5 million for, well, rioting at the Capitol. So if you can, click that like button for us. It helps boost the video and the algorithm a ton, and we really appreciate it, so we can hop right into the debate.
To see this moment rewarded with a $5 million settlement, when we checked, we tried to see, were there officers who were injured, those who died as a result of their injuries or other aspects of their service on January 6th? Did they get anything? No settlements for those folks.
Not even money, but just even an acknowledgement. I'm just thinking about Brian Sicknick. His mother still waiting for a call from the president. Look, it's under no circumstances, should anybody's death be celebrated or somebody lost their daughter, somebody lost a sister, a mother, and it's unfortunate that somebody lost their life there. But what message does it send that an individual, if she lived, she would have been charged. She would have been charged with a crime. She would have been a criminal. What message does that send out there to not just everyday citizens, but to people other criminals at the Capitol who may have been sprayed by police or may have been hit by police? Do they get to sue and now be rewarded because their record's clean with Donald Trump pardoning them?
It's kind of insane when you put it side by side, the right's reaction to George Floyd for being a criminal when he was brutally murdered by Derek Chauvin, of whom Trump wants to pardon on the federal level, by the way. But in comparison to now Ashley Babbitt, who was actively rioting and breaking into high sensitive areas in the Capitol where Congress members were being hidden, being put on a mantle by conservatives, now being awarded $5 million, which is being cheered on by conservatives as the families of the officers who died as a result of January 6th are still awaiting a simple apology from Trump. It's appalling, and it highlights blatant racial bias and the right's willingness in the face of an autopsy and a trial to still believe, well, the black man deserved it, but the white woman is a victim, even though we saw her doing criminal things on video.
This insurrection was perpetuated by the same person whose administration settled this case. So it's not like there was some jury or there was some sort of independent body that gave her this money. This money was given to her by the man who even Scott Jennings at one point said incited this insurrection. His name is Donald Trump.
No, it's coming from taxpayers.
Well,
it is
Donald
coming from
Trump
taxpayers.
should pay.
But Donald Trump is the person who allowed that to happen.
And he has been on this issue for a long time. Here's what he said about the officer, actually, who shot Ashley Babbitt. He said the police officer thug, who had a very checkered past to begin with, was not just doing his job when he shot and killed great patriot Ashley Babbitt at point blank range. And then he says that she was murdered. He called the officer a thug who was there protecting members of Congress, Democrat and Republican. The thing about the Ashley Babbitt situation is that we actually saw it.
And this is the party that supposedly backs the blue, willing to toss them under the bus like that if defending them makes Trump look bad. It truly is Trump over all else for these clowns. When the blood is also just really on Trump's hands here, there's no other way to put it. He should pay the $5 million if he thinks that her family deserves it. He's the one who incited the crowd off of nothing but lies, knowing what he was telling them was false, and then sent them to the Capitol to do his dirty work, pressuring Pence to accept his fake electors. He then sat in the Oval Office sipping a Diet Coke and refusing to call his dogs off, even after waves of people, his family members, everyone in his cabinet begged him to do so. And then hours later, when he realized, okay, pressuring state officials and such isn't going to work, he finally told them to go home, and they did. It's entirely Trump's fault.
It doesn't make any difference what's on the books because nobody is taking the book seriously anyway. Rule of law doesn't mean that much. Constitution doesn't mean that much. Quality relations doesn't mean that much.
Harry,
conversations don't mean that.
Do you feel that way? The rule of law has less meaning now?
Last week being National Police Week, the White House tweeted whatever it is. We support and will never betray our men and women in law. Which ones? The ones that voted for you? Like this is about right and wrong, and like you could turn off all the talking heads, you can turn off all the news, everybody's opinion about January 6th. Hell, watch it on mute. Just press play. Just press play. Everybody watched and had a front row seat to watch what happened with Ashley Babbitt, to watch what happened to everybody in the Capitol that day. You don't need anybody's opinion. Just press play. And anybody that can side with those individuals, they got the nerve to call themselves patriots, and they were right. They're attempting to rewrite what happened that day, and that continues with Donald Trump, with this Justice Department awarding Ashley Babbitt's family $5 million. That is coming from taxpayer money. Ashley Babbitt wouldn't have been there if Donald Trump would have accepted that the election was not stolen. So maybe Donald Trump should pay that $5 million himself.
And again, to stress, the biggest thing to remember about all of this, January 6th only happened as the culmination of Trump's 3-month-long escapade to steal the election, a free and fair Democratic election, after being unable to accept the results of his loss, despite being shown by all metrics that he had lost fair and square. If Donald Trump had been able to take accountability, like a grown-ass man should, from the start, Ashley Babbitt would still have her life. That is objectively a fact. But instead, the violent criminals have all been pardoned. The ones that brutally attacked cops, a criminal's family is now getting $5 million. And the officers who died, their families can't even get apologies. I mean, if this doesn't show Trump's priorities to you, nothing will, because you're in a cult.